Good morning. Good morning. Excited to have you join us for our Showers Online webinar. Good morning.
Good
We will
morning.
get Good morning, Fiona. How are you?
Good. It's
Good, good, good.
Thursdays. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes. What is it? Pre-Friday?
Exactly.
We're, we're going to give everyone a minute to join us to log in. So we do have a pretty good size of registered participants. So we'll give them a moment so they can go ahead and join us, but we will get started sharply. Thank you. So I do see some familiar names coming in, logging in. Ryan. Hi, Ryan. Let's see, who else do I see familiar name? Let's see. I don't know. Daniel rings a bell to me too for some reason. Let's see. Ah.
The people.
I
Hmm.
see some. Yes, 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 yes. Um, a lot of we do have a lot of customers who currently use Showers Online. I definitely want to make sure that they are able to experience this new web version.
Hmm.
Okay, we're gonna give until 10:02 and we will get started. Just please note that I'm gonna try to make this as interactive as possible. I have opened up the chat so all of us can see your messages. I also opened up the Q&A. Should you have any questions, I will ask a question. I'll introduce myself and Fiona will introduce herself. And then at the end of that, if you guys can also share something interesting about yourselves, just so that we can have a better understanding of who we are. None of your business because Zero already has your company information, but of you. Okay. We want to make sure that we're engaging with you. Okay. And without further ado, we will get this webinar started. Thank you again for joining us. It's a great pleasure to be here with all of you. And thank you for giving us the opportunity to introduce this program a lot more to yourselves. It is a fairly new version. Um, Typically, we've always had a third-party application, which is Citrix, but the web base is, we're trying to give you access to be able to create your projects on site while you're there with your client if need be. And at any time through different channels or different browsers. So this browser base is compatible with Firefox, Edge, Safari for those of you that have always had issues with our third party application and your Apple devices. No need to download a third-party application. On the contrary, this is 100% compatible with any Apple device. So without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce myself. I've done a lot of speaking already, but my name is Yancy Salinas. I've been with Cyril for a little bit over 5 years. I am the online programs manager, so I manage the relationship between our dev department, our dev team, our sales team, and our customers. So I also love to hear from you guys. If you have any feedback in reference to the tool or if you're seeing that we're missing something, please let me know. Feel free to reach out. I'll be sharing my email in the chat. So please copy it and save it for future references. For future reference, I will also be sharing Fiona's email address. Fiona here, she's our expert at hands when it comes to Showers Online. So a lot of the technical items she can go ahead and support. And if for whatever reason Fiona can't respond, please CC me and I'll try to get you an answer as well. I might not know the answer myself, but I promise I have the resources to get you the answers. Okay, and with that, Fiona, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yes, thank you, Yancy. So my name is Fiona. I have been with CRL for about 4 year ongoing 5 years now. Um, very excited, but I have been in shower department. I am currently the leader of shower door. I have been in the department for about 3 years. a little bit more than 3 years. Showers online webinar is something that we have been doing for a year, and we have the product for over a year already. We receive a lot of great feedback, especially if people are new jumping into the shower online program. However, this is something I believe Yancy just mentioned earlier. It's something that we want to cultivate for our customers. So if you do have any feedback or you think that we need to improve on certain aspects, please give us a lot of like comments, feedback. We do take it seriously. Yeah, and then if you're looking through everything that are on the Citrix and the web base, both of them are pretty much the same. However, I do think that the web base is a lot more user friendly compared to Citrix. But yeah, without further ado, I can just go ahead and jump right into it. Yancy, do you want anything to add before I jump into sharing my screen?
Yes, just some ground rules. So just wanted to let you know that Fiona will take us through a journey of creating a project. She'll go through the different features or different tabs within the program. And then we'll quote a project just so you can see how quickly and easy and how user-friendly the program is. So we'll quote a project and we'll also go ahead and place in order because it does take only 2 clicks. We will not be going over any of the setting features, or if you are a new user and you want to add a glass supplier or your glass types or process pricing or glass pricing, we will not cover that today. However, again, I will go ahead and provide you with my email address should you need those resources, or if you have questions in reference to the items I just mentioned, please let me know. I will share the how to's with you because I do have how to's for you. And then, yeah, so and once she's done with the whole quoting and pricing portion of this webinar, then I have some great updates for you when it comes to Serial online apps that I'm excited to share with all of you. So thank you so much for being here again. You want to take it away?
Thank you, Yancy. So I'm going ahead to share my screen. Close this really quick. So jumping into Shower Online web base, close this really quick. This is the first things that you will be seeing, which is basically a dashboard of all of the project you created and all of the projects that you have been converted. I usually gonna go and jump into the three stripe and go to the project list. So this going to basically showcase you all the summary of all project you have been created. Currently, right now for web-based, we do have shower and entrance partitions. If you are subscribing for both shower and entrance partitions, you will see a drop down of both project on entrance partitions, which is the icon right here, and shower, which is the icon right here. But pretty self-explanatory. If you want to just selecting shower, you can go ahead and click on this. Search bar is very similar compared to Citrix. Whatever you want to search up, let's say you want to search up a project name under test, go ahead and search it up all of everything that have including the test word that you just search up going to be showing up over here for you to select. So these are for you to select. You can look up using ID number, anything that you can think of, right? And if you're done, you don't want to look it up anymore, go ahead and click X. It's going to prompt you back. So before I'm jumping into anything else, I just want to make sure that I cover the logo as well. When you're jumping into web base, your logo going to be a default logo. So if you're new to the Shower Online program, do highly recommend to change the logo right away. Another thing is if you are subscribing through Citrix and you are starting with web-based, everything that settings that you have for Citrix will be automatically synced to web-based. So you don't have to redo everything again. Now, if you want to change something or if you want to add something, it's going to be automatically synced both web-based and Citrix as well. Okay, So before I'm jumping in, I just want to make sure that I cover everything over here. Of course, when you're looking into the summary of all the project, you will see the ID. You see the project name, customer, locations of the projects, the descriptions of it, or the quantity of that project you just create, date enters, and then status. When you're clicking over here, you will be able to see there's a filter for you. So if you want to filter up and down, you will be able to do that as well. Okay. So status, of course, future, there's different, we all have projects under waiting, but there will be different status if you do have anything that are under a different status. Of course, there's also going to be price showing up over here, and I will show you how it will show up on some project and some doesn't in a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a new project. Over here on the right, you click on the plus new. It's going to ask you if you want to create shower or entrance partitions. Of course, we're gonna do showers today. So project name, I'm just going to do something simple. It says Fiona. Project ID is automatically populate for you. But customer name, you will be able to edit. I can do CRL, Fiona, right here. If you scroll down to the bottom, you will be able to enter the detail of the project. Of course, there are going to be locations. There's going to be project code, who's the person who built up the project, which is me over here, how many quantity they enter, and what's the status of this, right? And then, of course, there's going to be site detail, address, contact, and phone number. The next tab going to highlight on the code itself all of the detail that you can enter for the code, especially on the code note as well, will be showing up on the code. Order, it will be the same thing. It's gonna ask you for delivery method, delivery date, order history or delivery time. Private note is something that you will be entering and it's gonna be for your specific internal notes only. So it's not gonna show on any of the report or in any of the code or note. Um, so once you enter everything, go ahead and click on Design Shower. It's going to prompt you to the template page. So for template, in CRL, we kind of compile a list of all of the most popular template that we saw from our customer. There's custom as well if you click on blank layout. However, we do have inline 180, right angle 90, or neo 135. For door, we do have a single door, double door. There's also bifold, single sliding, or double sliding door. And of course, if it's going to be hinging door, it's going to ask you if you want to hinge left or hinge right. If it's sliding, same thing, it's going to ask you if you want to slide left or slide right. And of course, the last thing would be transom, right? So it's going to ask you if you want transom or no transom. It's going to ask you if you want fixed or operable, or you want just a head gap or stack transom. I am going to jump into blank layout. Before I jump into that, I want to test something really quick. If I jump into blank layout right now, it's going to prompt me to the second tab, which is layout, where I can select a customized layout. Now, if I was in layout template earlier and I double click onto any of the template, it's going to prompt me to the design page right after. So if you want to edit your layout, go back to layout tab, where I'm gonna go ahead and start it with this project right now. I'm gonna go ahead and remove and start everything fresh. So when I'm in a layout tab and it's a customized layout, I can go ahead and select if I want the shower to be inline or right angle or neo. And I can basically enter the name of the sections that I'm building up right now. For the project, you can either add rig left, rig right, or if you know if both walls or if it's going to be running to only left wall or right wall. So for this project, I'm gonna start with hinging my door left. I'm gonna go ahead and create a side panel as well. However, I'm also going to add another side panel over here. And let's say on the door itself, I'm going to into the detail of each panels now, right? So let's say on the door itself, I want to have a fixed transom. Okay, so once I select the fixed transom, I can go ahead and select next. It's going to prompt me to the junction between the panel number one and number two. So over here, I will be able to fix if I want to, add any nip or any notch. So over here, I'm gonna keep it at 180. But if I'm clicking to the next one, it's going to add me right here if I want to add any top nib, left fall, right fall, or any notch. Right here, it's also going to ask me if I want to kind of extend the transom to the side panel over here as well. If I'm gonna click fix transom over here, it's going to extend it for me, right? Okay, so for this one, I'm just gonna select no right now, and I'm going to click next to the next junctions between panel 2 and 3. So let's say over here, I just want to do a return panel. I'm gonna click 90, so it's going to change to a 90 degree of the panel, of the junction between the panel 2 and 3. Over here, you will be able to select the intersections where if you want it to be miter, square, left panel overlap, or right panel overlap. Here, I'm just gonna keep everything the same because this is panel overlap, no miter. So the glass of it's going to look like this, right? Now, if I'm gonna click miter, it's going to automatically change my miter angle of the glass to 45 degree from the left and the right side, right? Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and select this one again and then click onto the third panel. Same thing all over again. I'm just gonna keep everything the same. Once I'm done with the layout, I can either click on design tab or I can click next. When I click next, it's going to prompt me to the design tab again. So over here, this is where I'm gonna be starting to enter all of the details of the showers, right? Now you can see that this is a 90 degree that we just select earlier. Over here, of course, we already compile a list of style that we have recommend our customer or our customer is one of the most popular. We compile a list for you to select from. But if you want to add anything else, please do let us know. Over here, I'm just gonna do something simple like Clam Vienna, and it's going to ask you for what kind of finish you want to look for. I'm going to do oil rope bronze. And then what kind of glass? So over here, we do have a list of glass for you to select. And over here, use for all panel is going to ask you what kind of glass you want to use for panel 1, 2, and 3. So the coding itself, you will be able to select all of the most popular one as well. And then of course a glass supplier if you do have multiple. I'm gonna keep the head support to none right now. Okay, so it's going to default to none either way, but you will be able to edit later. However, I do want to have it to prompt up some issues so that we can look into it. So over here is going to always, oops, sorry guys, black out. Um, Over here, you will be able to select measure method. We always, for our program, default to centerline glass. However, you will be able to select to however you want it to be. The door width always default at 28, but you will always be able to edit it. Gap under the door is going to be default for CRL as well. However, you will be able to edit it on the panel later on. Over here, there's going to be some overlapped when it comes to selections. Of course, over here, it's going to ask you again if you want to add or remove brick on the left or on the right hand side,
Mhm.
and if it's going to be left or right walls only. Yancy, anything that you want to jump in right now?
I think you've been doing such a great job. Just some minor things here. I know Fiona mentioned this earlier. A lot of the features here are the same as our Citrix version. However, the user friendliness, the fact that you can see the screen here in 3D, the picture quality is a little bit better, the 3D rendering. We do have different options here on the screen where you can have a plants view, a panel view. If you choose to also copy the image to the clipboard, you can also do that here. This tool is very versatile, very intuitive, and customizable. I've seen very simple showers created in this tool. I've seen very complex showers created in the tool. Also, if you have any questions, again, I did share Fiona's email address on the chat should you have any technical questions in reference to a specific design, or if you see that your numbers are not adding up, or any discrepancies that you may see, please feel free to reach out to both Fiona and myself. I'm pretty savvy when it comes to the tool and the tool's features, but I must admit I'm not an expert in the hardware 100%. My expert here is Fiona, so I will definitely route you her way. But no, you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Again, with the rakes and the elbows, you're able to do that customization. So far, I don't have any questions. Actually, I just saw one from Marcia. Yes, Marcia, the webinar is recorded. And tomorrow, you'll be receiving an email from us saying, thanking you for joining us. In that email, you will have the recording of today's session. But with that, it doesn't mean drop off. Okay. Please join us because you'll be missing a lot of the information that we'll be providing during the webinar. Okay. Okay, Fiona, please
Thank you,
continue. Thank
Yancy.
you. Of course. Yeah.
So the next tab that I'm going to focus on is going to be the measurement grid over here. Of course, you will be seeing a lot of repetitive questions for you to edit the shower again. But I'm going to ignore all of this and move down to basically the dimensions where you will be able to enter. So there's two way for you to enter the dimensions would be the left side and the right hand side. Over here, you'll be able to see that it's color coordinated. So you should be able to enter A and correlate it over here to A. I'm gonna do something simple like 70. Let's do the width of the 2B over here at 45. And then I'm gonna do the width of this C sections, which is this panel over here. Let's do something like 30. So over here, it's going to automatically prompt the height on the right hand side to 70. Now, let's say that you do have anything that are out of level on the bottom over here that will be impacting this one. I would enter the out of level half inch. I would go ahead and click this. It's going to ask you which side you want it to be out of level. And then it's going to prompt the height of the D sections over here to be coordinate to the out of level as well. Let's say on the C, I'm gonna do half inch out of level, and on the opposite side, it's going to prompt me back to the 70 inch because I have this up and then have this down again. So the height of both going to be the same. I'm gonna keep this for now and move on to over here where I will be able to enter the transom height. So over here, I'm just gonna do something simple like 12 inch for height, and it's going to be automatically calculate the door for me. Okay, so once I'm done looking at everything, I will be able to move on to the next thing. If I scroll down, it's going to ask me on the base width and the head slope. On the E sections over here, you see the color E as kind of emerald. it's going to ask you for our level on the top, right? So over here, it's going to correlate to the head slope that you will be able to review as well. Because you do have a bottom slope down, it's going to ask you if you have anything that going to be out of level on the top as well. Over here, you will be able to edit the outage over here. So it's gonna ask you column one for the fixed transom and then for the side over here as well. So panel one and panel two. Right here, right? So you will be able to see that, hey, this panel one is sloping up, this panel two is sloping down. I'm gonna go ahead and do everything at zero right now. So that is more simple for us and do this pop up. The second thing that I want to touch on is the base width because we did check on the slope on the top. Now we're gonna check on the bottom, which is the base width. So over here, same concept is going to be asking you, hey, do you want the glass width to be 28 or do you want it to be 26? I'm going to do 26. So it's going to be automatically calculated for me on the panel number two because I entered the total of this is 45. It's going to automatically calculate it for me. On the bottom, it's going to have a base slope of 516 on the first panel and then 316 on the second panel. So everything add up is going to be half inch sloped from left to right. Slope up from left to right from panel 1 to panel 2. So this you will be able to edit over here and it's also summary for you over here as well. So once you finish with this, go ahead and click on this Miss pop-up. It's gonna prompt you back to the main page. For this purposes of this project, I'm just gonna keep everything level out at 0, so it's easier for us to follow, okay? So once you enter all of the dimensions, go ahead and jump into note if you want to additional note that you want to add on the installations itself. So this is where you will be able to add it. Okay. So once you finish with this, go ahead and move to, well, I'm going to save my shower first and then it's going to prompt up a warning for me. Now, when it's prompt up the warning and you accidentally closed it like I did, go ahead and click on the triangle over here up top. It's going to basically give you a serious warning, a safety warning, or any moderate warning over here. So over here, it's saying that I have to add clamps on both of the left and right hand side of the fixed transom. So I'm gonna go to click directly on the warning itself. It's going to prompt me to the page where I can fix the issues, right? Over here, a couple of things that I want to highlight is because I don't have any head support, and that's the reason why it's prompting up the different clamps for me. So I'm going to go ahead and do a clamp for head support, reapply for the head support. Now, when you're looking at this, and select clamp for Vienna, it's automatically add all of the required hardware to put in this project. So for example, if I picked Vienna clamps, it's gonna add Vienna, it's gonna add a handle for me, and it's going to automatically add not sorry, not transom, the clamps for me as well over here. Now, everything is automatically added in for me. However, if I want to remove this, there's two ways that I can remove. I can go ahead and click on the product itself and click on remove, or I can go ahead and click on this pop-up and go ahead and click remove. Oops, sorry. and click remove over here. Over here, if you're clicking onto, let's say you're clicking onto the handle itself, you will be able to change the finish as well if you don't like it. I'm gonna change to brass, and then you will be able to increase or decrease the quantity. Okay, once you're done, hit save, go back to the hardware, and you will be able to also add hardware over here. So going back to the warning that I have over here is asking me to add a transom both left and right edge of the fixed transom. So I'm gonna go ahead and add transom. You can go ahead and look up any clamps that we have with sections or filter it out for you. However, you can also search all the hardware that we have or carry as well. You can go ahead and search up using just regular part number, or you can also just go ahead and type in transom. It's going to prompt up all of the transom clamps that we have for you to select. Over here, I'm just gonna go ahead and add the BGC1AA and click add. Add. Sorry, my screen is a little bit too small for me to scroll down. My apology, but I can go ahead and click add over here. Not want transom. I select the wrong one, but I can click on BGC and click add over here. It's going to say that I'm successfully add BGC188 to the project. Okay, when I add it in here, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this because I accidentally add this and this. It's going to say my BGC movable transom is not in use. Now, because I picked the fixed transom, so that's why it's not going to automatically add in for me. I can go ahead and click on this and remove this. And I can add another fixed transom. Let's see if it's going to pump a fixed transom for me. Yeah, my apology. I think that my screen is not scrolling down as much as I want it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and remove transom. I do apologize for that. However, you will be able to add the fixed transom when your screen are function properly. So I'm gonna go back to the layout. It's gonna be a little bit messed up, but I'm going to go ahead and do no transom for this one. Okay, I'm gonna save this and then go back to hardware tab. So now over here, because I don't have any transom, it's going to just asking me to remove all of the SCU4 that are not using in the system. So over here, I would be able to click on the SCU4. There's three that are not in use in the system, so I'm going to deduct it to 8 and hit saved. Once I saved everything, it's going to remove the warning for me on top. Now I'm gonna go ahead and jump into each locations of the hardware. Whatever you have on the left hand side is going to highlight on the right hand side. So because I click on SCU4, all of the SCU4 are highlighting up right now. If I go ahead and click on this one, it's going to highlight on the right hand side which one I'm selecting. And this going to prompt me to the glass drawings of that specific clamps. If I want to change this to, let's say, the hinge itself, I can click on the hinge and it's gonna prompt me to the same cutout of the hinge. Very self-explanatory at this point. It's going to show you the hinge, where is it hinging off, which panel, which is panel number one, the door, which edge is it? It's gonna be left edge over here. What position is hinging off is saying 8 inch from the top, so it's hinging 8 inch from the top to the middle of the cutout. So what kind of cutout type? This is default whenever you're using CRL hardware. You can also see the diagram of it. Now, if you are preferring your own cutout and you feel like this work for you a little bit better, you can also edit it over here as well. And you can also look at on the left hand side to the right hand side, it's going to correlate the same information. So example, one 1316 over here, notch inward. So all of those going to be correlated from the left hand side to the right hand side. If you want to swap it back, go ahead and click on it. It's going to swap back to the locations of that specific cutout. Okay, so once we're finished reviewing everything and it looks correct, go ahead and move to the next one, which is the cutout tab. At the cutout tab, it's going to ask you to review everything as far as the cutout again. So of course, Vienna, BM, all of the SCU4. Okay. Once you review everything, this you can also add your menu cutout as well. I'm not gonna go in too deep of this. We usually going to do this when we have a new hardware that are not in the system yet. This is where we're gonna go and edit our cutout. Once you're done editing it, you can go ahead and click back, and over here you will be able to edit coding for your project as well. Of course, in here you'll be able to edit the corner radius of the glass, or if you want to do an angle corner or remove existing of any corner that you just have, this is where you're going to be able to edit it. Once you finish with it, go ahead and click on the panel. On the panel itself, it's going to ask you to review all of the cutout and all of the specifications that have been added in since the beginning. So you're reviewing your glass again, the measurement of the panel, panel edges. This is where you'll be able to edit the clearance of it. For CRL, we default when it comes to clearance that we're recommending. So it's going to automatically add in the gap for you. However, this is where if you're saying that 116 would be sufficient for you as a tight gap and you're confident with it, you will be able to edit it as well. Yeah. So once you edit this, it's going to be saying locked over here. Now it's going to prompt over here a moderate warning saying that you have overridden settings that we default for. So whatever you are editing it, be sure to double check and make sure that it's working before you kind of overridden everything. Yeah. Before we jump into the cutout, I also want to review all of the options that you can add in when it comes to the edge of the panel. So over here it's saying on the edge of the left of panel number one, we're using P80WS and Vienna. So it's going to have a tie gap of 116. However, if you are using anything for base or anything that are, you know, additional, you will be able to select this and it's going to change the tight gap for you. I'm gonna change this to the door base gap as 716 as default. Once you review everything, click on cutout tab. This is going to be the same replica at this one cutout up top. So review everything carefully on each panel before you move on to the next panel. Okay, so when you click on the next panel, the same concept apply for each piece of panel glass. Once you've reviewing everything, hit saved, and you will be able to review your template or your project again. For you to review your project is very much over here, show over here on your 3D. You will be able to drag 360 with it or play animations with it. You can also look at top view or a bird eye view, drag it. You can also see the cut out only for glass. Black out again.
As you can see, we are live. So, unfortunately, the room where Fiona's in, it has a sensor, and we'll turn off the lights momentarily
Yeah.
if it doesn't sense that someone's there. Apologies for that.
It's energy. Um, Here you will be able to show the dimensions of the project that you just create when you click on this button right here. And on the setting itself, you can also, like Yancy mentioned previously, you can copy this and then paste it on any kind of like, let's say, email that you want to send to your customer. So it's going to just copying this specific project that you just create, the 3D that you just created. Okay. Once you're finished with everything, go ahead and make sure that's saved. Go ahead and click back to the project list. So it's going to show you the project that we just created over here as well. It's gonna give you a drop down of what you just created highlighted over here. A couple things that I wanna jump in is you can clone whatever you just create. So there's two options. You can clone all the details, or you can clone the project header only. I'm gonna go ahead and clone all of the details over here. It's going to prompt up for me to this project, which it says clone for the previous project test Fiona, right? So over here, once I review everything, if I want to change anything, I don't like it anymore, I can go ahead and delete it. If I delete it, it's going to prompt me back to the project list page. I can go ahead and select the project that I just created. It's going to prompt me back to it, the summary page. So over here, I'm gonna go over some of the options that we just had because we just created a project. You can view the project that we just create. The online code is something that all of our customers sending to their customer to review. So over here, you'll be able to see the project that we just created. It's going to have the descriptions for you as well. Okay, so if I'm going back to the project list, I can also view multiple different PDF. If I'm gonna click on multiple report, it's going to prompt me to select or deselect all of the report that I can create. I'm gonna go ahead and click on view selected. So it's download a PDF for me of all of the report that we just create or selected. When it's downloaded, you will be able to see this is the code, says Fiona, the glass order, and then the template, the hardware list that we added, and then the installation sheet. Okay, so all of these will be available for you once the project is saved. Okay, once you're done, you can also go ahead and export to DXF. I'm not gonna go and explore too much into this since I don't have the program on this laptop. However, there's multiple style that you can select for DXF as well. I'm gonna go ahead and click cancel on this. The next thing that I wanna jump in is the code order. So when you click to code order, you will be seeing that it's going to prompt you directly to the hardware page. One thing that we added in recently is you will be able to view the stocks level, inventory level, when it comes to the product that we have in stocks for that account, right? So over here, you'll be able to view it. There's also glass. There's also estimates page over here, because this is an internal account, I don't have anything added on top. I also don't have any glass prices on top of this. So I'm just gonna focus on the hardware over here. When I review everything, the customer are loving the project, they want to convert it, I can go ahead and do a quote first. So if I click on order and click on quote hardware, it's going to ask me all of the detail. So of course, delivery method and address, all of those. Confirm everything, and then you can go ahead and click on quote hardware. When you click on coding the hardware, it's going to generate a code for you that you can view over here. I'm going to go back to the project list really quick so that you can view it. So this is going to be the code that we just create. It's going to say this is the code number, this is the date that we coded it with, which is April 24. If I click onto it right now, it's going to give me a price of the hardware because I just coding it. So once I'm done with like reviewing everything, customer ready to convert it, I can go ahead and click back to the quote order. And now it's going to allow me to place order. When I place an order, it's gonna ask me for my PO number. If you don't have a PO number, this number going to be generated from your project ID. So it's going to be the same as project ID. It's gonna ask you for shipping method, delivery method, all of the detail over here. Once review, and I'm gonna just go call over here. I don't want them to package it up for me. Once I finish reviewing everything, I'm gonna go ahead and place order. It's going to generate an order number for me, and I will be able to check when I go back to the project list itself. So now the project that I just create have an order number. Okay, so before I'm jumping into something else, is there any questions, concerns? Yancy, is there anything that you want to add in?
Um, wow, you gave us a lot of information. Yeah, we do have several questions coming in from Edie's and from Marcia. So, Marcia, yes, you asked in reference to the clipboard, is this to send a screenshot? Yes, it will send the project itself along the 3D image of that project itself. So if you copy it to a clipboard, like Fiona mentioned, either you put it on a specific document, whether it's Word, whether it's your email, you can go ahead and email it over to your customer. So it's for that image of the project itself. However, we also have here under view a online quote. So the online quote as well works the same way. The online quote just allows you to send that project over to your customer using your email with a more interactive look as well, where if you can also click on the project itself, this is what typically the customer is going to see. So it also has an interactive view. Fiona, if you can click on interactive view, and it will just be focused right there. Yeah, it will be focused just around the image itself, and you're able to drag and drop it and so forth. So this is what to give the customer that experience of using the tool and typically looking at their application through every angle. So you
Mhm.
can do it that way too. You have a choice. We've made it pretty user friendly and complex. So we have Edie's who mentioned, she says we use a finger nudge cutout for the panel clips instead of a hole. How can we change it from a hole to a finger notch?
This is something that will be changing our default cutout as well. So Yancy, I don't know if you want to take on into this questions because she's asking if we can basically changing a cutout of what we have already had.
Yeah, I answered another question similar. So you're able to make changes. However, you have to understand that the tool is focused to support our hardware. If our none of our hardware has a finger notch instead of a hole, then you can probably create it, but you won't be using our hardware. So you can set up a template, but you cannot have it set as the default.
Yeah.
FYI. All the features and all the cutouts that you see, that's like Fiona mentioned it during the training, that the different cutouts, it's for example, when we're creating a new hardware, or we're going to be launching new hardware, that's when we can test it. This site per se, or this account is our testing environment, our internal account where we use for either testing or we use for adding projects for customers who are having kind of like a difficult time with designing it. So that's why it has a lot of the different options. But yeah, again, the tool is created, and the logic behind it is so that it can be supported, so it can support our hardware. So if we don't have hardware, and to your question also in reference to the fixed transom clamps, yes, you're right. See, sorry. Um, yeah, that happened to me too. So yes, you're right. We currently don't have, not even on our website, any fixed transom clamps. We are looking for alternatives. I did reach out to our product management department. Um, I know that Fiona, that just because I did see this drawing earlier today, I'm pretty sure Fiona is
Yeah.
using the drawing that was sent by a customer prior to the webinar. He specified other clamps that he's using. Obviously, do we recommend them? No, not 100%, because we want to make sure that we recommend hardware for a specific application that's not going to give you any issues. Okay, if that makes sense. You mentioned how do we add multiple showers to an estimate? That is an improvement that we are working on. I haven't tested it. I Oh, I'm giving you new updates. So I am currently testing an update for showers online, and I haven't tested to see if it was added on this one, on this new upgrade. If it's not on this update, then it will be on the next one. The next one should be coming before June. Okay, so just because this came up in conversation. So the one that I'm testing now should go live next week, by the end of next week. And this one will have not only the Zero hinges, but it'll have the whole Zero collection. Okay. Zero was launched end of last year. But in finalizing the launch and a lot of the technical documentation, we wanted to make sure that we had everything ready to introduce it over to the online programs. That's why it's taking a little bit longer within the online programs, but it is on the online programs. And moving forward, also, we will be introducing a lot more new hardware, not only at the CRL level, but also at the online programs level. And with that, as far as the what's new with the online programs, because I know I did mention earlier that I was going to give you news. Well, that news is that we do have an update. Another great change for the online programs is that we not only have now showers online as the web version. We recently launched glass entrances and partitions as a web version. And that now you can go ahead and have these two tools in one interface. So you can have showers and glass entrances in the same database that we currently have showers. So what does that mean? All those users who have storefronts currently, that's a Citrix Space, is that third-party application, they're going to be separate to what the new projects that you'll be creating for glass entrances and partitions. The Citrix Space storefronts, that's still going to remain without any updates, without new hardware. We will be adding all the new hardware on the web base. So it'll be two separate instances. So moving forward, that is the plan. That we will be transitioning all of our online programs into a web base, and they're all going to be in the same interface so that you don't have multiple passwords, multiple usernames for the multiple tools. So, for example, here in this screen, you see that it has a tab under all showers and glass entrances. So this account has both tools, glass entrances and showers. So if I wanted to create a shower as Fiona just demonstrated for us, then I can create a shower. However, if I wanted to create Fallbrook, which is one of our partitions, you can do that here as well. So we have Fallbrook Excel, Fallbrook Excel, Fallbrook Excel New York. We have them all in the web version, which you will not find in the Citrix version currently, along with all other CRL systems. So your systems like the Laguna series, like the 290, 295, the 487s, the 1301s, Bloomcraft, our DRX system, and our standard door rail systems, you will find them in the web version. I think the next system that we're going to be adding to glass entrances will be the 6CRL 690, 695. So just FYI, sneak peek, giving you kind of a teaser information. And then we're we also have a new release for glass entrances also that's coming next month. So a lot of exciting things happening currently within CRL and also within programs. For those of you who also do entrances or storefronts, better said, as I mentioned here, the web version has been only the CRL systems. However, storefronts also has US aluminum systems there. So that's our next step. We will be introducing US aluminum hardware and US aluminum systems to this version, to the web version as well. So we'll be carrying that over, and hopefully we can have that launched by the end of the year. With that being
Wow,
said,
that's
for those,
interesting.
yes, see, yes,
That's
a lot of things.
exciting.
I'm telling you, I've been hard at work. That's why I need your feedback. I need to know what's important to you. What are you using the most? I want to make sure that I give you an optimal tool, so you can use it. Because I understand how pivotal these tools are for your business, whether it's for coding, designing, or ordering. So I want to make the tool as powerful as possible. And I take great pride in saying that currently Showers Online is the best tool out there. I don't know. I'm not trying to be biased here, but not because I manage the tools, but I do know for a fact that is one of the best tools out there. Just because I've seen other competiting tools, and even the quoting and ordering process is very lengthy and a little bit convoluted. We're here, 2 clicks, done. So with that being said, those are a lot of the new updates. I will be also including a lot of the new features and new updates within our purchaser newsletter. So every Monday we do send a newsletter, so be on the lookout for those. I will also be sending those one-off emails when I have those new releases with all that information of what's new in the online tool so you can experience. I know we have several other questions on the Q&A, which I will respond to those questions via email at the end of this webinar, because I do want to be respectful to your time. And I think we've said a lot. We've kind of demonstrated a lot as well. Please feel free. How do you quote glass? Okay, Mark, I got you just because we got 2 minutes. Well, as a you can use the tool to add any glass supplier. I mentioned, I think, in the beginning of the webinar that we can add you can add a glass supplier. The glass supplier will typically provide you with the glass that they work with, the glass thickness, the types of glass, the process within the glass. So as a first time user, if you're adding a new supplier, you would have to add who that glass supplier is, their contact information, the glass that they'll be dealing with you, the processing for that glass, and any pricing. With that, you have to do one-on-one. Okay, we are working on seeing how we can enhance that experience from the beginning, where possibly we're looking into uploading an Excel spreadsheet and having it populated in the back end. We're not there yet, but we will. That is an improvement that I've already communicated over to the development team that we want to do. But currently, it's one-on-one. So each glass thickness, each different glass, you're going to have to add it. So on that note, because you're adding the glass there along with the glass pricing, it will generate on your quote. Here, you will not be able to see it because we haven't really added any glass,
Yeah.
again, because this is for testing purposes and it's more revolving around our hardware. Okay, but I can send you a how-to on how to do that as well, as far as adding the supplier, the process pricing, and the glass pricing. You can also do markups on hardware, on the glass, also in the tool. And if you and also keep in mind that a lot of the changes or the settings and the enabling these features have to be done in your site by your site admin, who typically is seat one. Okay. With that, I know we've given you a lot. I've provided you with my email on here, Fiona's email on here. Please feel free to reach out with any additional questions. I will be reaching out to Bill, to Edie's with the questions that you have asked. Also, if you want any free trials, please feel free to send us an email to showers@sierralawrence.com. We can set that up to you. If you have any other comments, questions, concerns in reference to the tool, feel free to email me. If you have technical questions around the hardware and any systems within the Showers Online, and also the tool, because she's very savvy with the tool, please feel free to reach out to Fiona. Okay,
Yeah.
with that, thank you so much for joining us today. It's definitely been a pleasure. Um, Fiona, anything you wanna wrap up with?
I think you sum up everything perfectly. Anything that I know that we didn't touch on a lot of technical ends, we're adding cutout on all of those. We can definitely going into one-on-one, or we can go ahead and, advise you via email as well. So go ahead
Mhm.
and reach out. It's pretty basic over here with the whole webinar. So
Mhm.
yeah, not again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think my computer is asking me to stop talking and then wish you guys have a good weekend.
Okay, have a great weekend, everyone. Again, I'll touch bases with those who we left outstanding questions for. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, everyone.